Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining me today. I am the worst daughter of all. And today I wanted to talk about, well, it's, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just a revelation, an aha moment that I have recently come across. And it's about the seasons. I live in a place where we get all four seasons: summer, spring, fall, winter. We get the gamut and everything in between. And now it is spring where I live. It's officially spring, and you wouldn't be able to tell by the weather that we've just had, but it is definitely on the calendar officially spring. And this time of year used to be one that I dreaded. And it's for a lot of different reasons, but I think mainly it's because I associated spring and summer with some of the worst times in my life. As you may have heard me say, if you've listened to any of my other previous recordings, I grew up in a household where my parents had their own business. And for most of my life, they had a t-shirt business where they would do airbrushing on t-shirts back in the 90s for different tourists in this place in the state where I'm from, that a lot of people used to come. There was a giant lake, a giant body of water, and so people would come from all over to vacation at this place, and there were a lot of businesses and vendors that would set up shop every year. And then so basically the season would start late April and go all the way through early September. And these were the times that, because my father is very controlling and he's a very sad person. He abused my mother and I mostly mentally, occasionally physically, at least for me. I don't know about for her. Most frequently in that time frame. And so for me, I associate this time of year with, oh my gosh, I've got to go back soon with them, and what this will be like for me. Where I grew up, it was very hot in the summertime. It was very, very hot, and we did not have air conditioning for a long time in their store. It was an open air shop. So not only was that miserable, and there was very long hours because it was basically, I think they would open around 10 o'clock in the morning, and then they would be there until probably after 12 a.m. And for a long time, because the place where they would travel was about 45 minutes away from where we lived, so we would drive to and from every single day. So you're also very sleep deprived. And then you have to deal with bratty customers, and it's the whole lot. And so from an early age, I was dealing with this, and of course it's stressful for my parents as well. With those types of hours and things like that. So that means, and then there's pressure on them as well to make all of their money for the rest of the year just in these, few months, which, they could make a pretty good amount, but, that also meant that we weren't very rich, didn't have a lot of money. And so because of these choices that they've decided to put upon us as a family, it just made for a very stressful time of year. And so I always liked fall and winter because not only was I not with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I was able to, get away because of school, and I was able to be around people my own age. Because remember, I'm an only child, so I had no one else to be around that was my own age. So I'm with these dysfunctional, disordered thinking adults that are at odds with each other, and I'm getting all the blame for all the bad things that were happening. And so even as I was out of this situation and they were no longer going to that place to make money, because ultimately that place is kind of like not what it used to be. So they kind of were forced out of the building that they were in, and they aren't doing that anymore. They have another business of their own where they get to be together 24/7, just like he likes. Basically, it still stuck with me for so many years. Like, I dreaded the sunshine. I dreaded nice, beautiful blue skies. I loved the snow, and I still do. I think snow is beautiful. I think fall and winter are so beautiful in their own way. But I just couldn't appreciate those beautiful, breezy, or warm or hot days just because the association of I'm going to be in these terrible high pressure situations where I'm being abused just incessantly, even up until this past year, it was just kind of like I would dread it. I felt this unconscious feeling just like at the pit of my stomach, just like this dread, this anxiety, just all the time. And now this year, like just now that it's springtime, I'm like, I am so looking forward to the flowers, to the sunshine. Where I live, it's kind of a joke. Like, basically in this part of the U.S., it's like, if you think it's spring, just wait. It's going to be like winter number 3, again, spring, winter, spring, winter. It just doesn't want to make up its mind. So it's kind of like, I got a few days to a couple weeks of some like 50-degree Fahrenheit weather to 60-degree Fahrenheit weather, and I had the windows open and it was birds chirping and the sun was so nice and blue skies. And then now it's like, then a snowstorm goes through, and I'm like, like I've never been that way since I was a kid. Like, I always dreaded those days. And I think it's also because too, when it would rain or there would be like some kind of weather where the tourists wouldn't be out and about as much, that meant I got to have a break. I got to have, the pressure wasn't so high, because when my dad was feeling pressured or feeling stressed, he took that out on everyone else. So it's kind of like, he's feeling stressed, he doesn't know how to deal with it, he's feeling annoyed, and they chose for a really long time not to have any days off on the week. I remember I was probably in my early teens when they finally decided to take one day off a week for their mental health, quote unquote, which is funny to me, but and that was it. Then in the summertime they had no other days off, just one day a week. But that took a long time for them to get to that point. So it was like just the summer and spring of hell growing up. And so I wonder, do any of you have anything like that in your life that everyone else is excited about? Everyone else sees whatever it is as this exciting time or this this great thing, but you're just dreading it, or you dread it, or you hate it, or you get anxious about it. I know a lot of people feel like that about like Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever, birthdays, because that's kind of notoriously when the abusers kind of get more abusey, to put it in a light term. And I definitely can see that too. But for me, the pressure and the abuse was so high in those months of the year during that type of weather that it's taken me such a long time to get to the point where I'm okay with it. Yeah. So I'm going to end this one here. And I thank you guys so much for listening. You don't know how much this helps me to put this out there, and I just only can hope that maybe you can, like I always say, kind of know that you're not alone, and that you don't have to suffer by yourself, and that there is help and there is light at the tunnel, even if you've never understood that to be true. So thank you so much again. I can't say that enough. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.